That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, we got this video requested over and over and over again through DMs on Patreon. So I'm going to be talking about our safe Dynasty running back investments as well as our safe wide receiver investments. This video is going to make a ton of sense for anybody who's guaranteeing that they get that value on their roster in 2021. Maybe you're missing the playoffs this season. Maybe you're just more of a conservative owner and you don't want to go all the way in on 2020 and you want to make sure that you can get some points now as well as points in the future. This video is for you. But guys, please go down there, smash that like button, leave a comment telling me what video you would like to see after this. And also, please, 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 only subscribe if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football. This is a specific Dynasty Fantasy Football video. If you don't play Dynasty, it's not going to make sense for you. This is not the video for you. So unless you're planning on joining the league in this offseason or you already play in one, please turn off the video. Okay, so now let's get into it and let's talk about our 5 safe Dynasty running back investments. And let's start it off with Miles Sanders. Okay, so I am recording this after the horrible performance by the Philadelphia Eagles and Miles Sanders on Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks. We know that they were really not able to get anything going either on the ground or through the air. If you look at the score of the game, if you look at the statistics of the game, honestly, it paints a much better picture than what actually happened just because that Hail Mary at the very end saved it for no reason whatsoever. But anyway, with Miles Sanders, I know he has been extremely frustrating so far in 2020 with the injuries and also with the struggles for the Philadelphia Eagles. But going into 2021, if we are looking at the Miles Sanders profile, we are looking at a running back that the Philadelphia Eagles are significantly invested into as they took him in the second round of 2019. And on top of that, we know that they have so much tied up to Carson Wentz and they just spent that second round pick on Jalen Hurts that it's definitely going to be a priority for them to go out there and address the wide receiver position as well as the offensive line, as that is the 2 areas where the Philadelphia Eagles are really struggling on offense. Clearly, I don't think anybody's going to come out here and blame his own struggles on Miles Sanders so far in 2020. So I think based on the fact that he has that secure job, he's still on that rookie contract. He will be on that rookie contract for a few more years. Miles Sanders is one of the best investments that you can make in Dynasty Fantasy Football. He has that elite athletic profile. He can catch balls out of the backfield. The Philadelphia Eagles offense can really only get better, in my opinion. I find it very hard to believe that this offense gets any worse. I'm just hoping that we get Jalen Hurts in here sometime soon. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, we've seen a change. Hopefully this offense has improved slightly. So here with Miles Sanders, I think that he is going to be a high-end running back too for the rest of 2020 based on the usage that he has in this offense in a game-neutral situation. And then if we are projecting him into 2021, I think that he does have that upside to come out here and be a running back 1 once again, like we saw him be at the very end of 2019 when he won people their Dynasty Fantasy Football Leagues. Okay, so now let's go right over to another disappointing running back so far through 2020, and let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. Okay, real quick, guys, I know y'all are going to notice a clear trend with the running backs on this list. They are all on their rookie contracts still. They have that role guaranteed in their offenses for the next 2 to 3 seasons. And this is my #1 piece of advice that I can give you for your Dynasty Fantasy Football Leagues. If you are looking to invest into a running back, make sure that they still have that rookie contract because the running back position is the quickest position to flame out in the entire NFL. I mean, look at Todd Gurley right now. I believe Todd Gurley is only 25, 26 years old, and he's complete dust. I would be surprised if he's, I would make anybody a bet right now. I would lay even money that Todd Gurley is not a top 30 running back in fantasy football in 2021. That's how the position is. You really have to get these young assets that have that guaranteed workload based on them being attached to that rookie contract. And that's exactly what we have here with Jonathan Taylor, clearly selected in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft. And here, Jonathan Taylor has every physical trait that you would ever ask for. He has the size, and he also has an elite athletic profile where he's going to be able to go out there and he's going to be able to bust off long runs. And what he's actually showed us so far in 2020 in his rookie season is the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Really, that was our main concern with Jonathan Taylor coming into 2020. Y'all know that was not a running back that I tended to significantly invest into just because I preferred a running back like Clyde Edwards-Helaire over him. I preferred someone like DeAndre Swift, who's going to be a little bit cheaper. I actually had DeAndre Swift over him going into the NFL draft before the landing spots. But regardless, Jonathan Taylor's playing behind a great offensive line. And on top of that, we know that he has the exact type of profile of a running back that you would want to significantly invest into in Dynasty Fantasy Football. He's still attached to that rookie contract, so he should have that role years to come. Currently, I know that Jonathan Taylor's been frustrating so far in 2020, but I still believe that he's one of the safest Dynasty assets that you can have on your roster. Okay, so now let's get to our next running back. Fits the same mold of a Miles Sanders and a Jonathan Taylor. Y'all should clearly see a trend here. Josh Jacobs, while yes, Josh Jacobs has been disappointing over the past few months, we still understand that this was a first-round drafted running back in the 2019 NFL Draft, still attached to that rookie contract. And what I've actually really liked to see from Josh Jacobs so far through 2020 is he's shown that he does have some receiving capability in the Las Vegas Raiders offense. Clearly, it's not his strength. He's not an Alvin Kamara. He's not a DeAndre Swift. He's not an Aaron Jones. But he's also a lot more talented in the receiving game. At least he has a much larger role than someone like Nick Chubb, which is going to provide him a little bit of that access to that high-end running back one upside if he gets the right matchup, if the Las Vegas Raiders can put points up on the board. I know this is not a timely video as Josh Jacobs just came off a very bad performance against the Atlanta Falcons where they got boat raced. Josh Jacobs hurt his ankle in that game as well. But here, I think if we zoom out a little bit, we look at the profile coming out of Alabama, we look at what he was able to accomplish in his rookie season and also in multiple games in 2020, and then attach it to the fact that he's still on that rookie contract and has that role guaranteed for years to come. Josh Jacobs is one of the safest running backs that you could invest into in Dynasty Fantasy Football. All right, so now let's get to our next running back, someone that was actually selected in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, and this is going to be J.K. Dobbins. Okay, real quick, I know very similar to these other running backs, J.K. Dobbins has not lived up to expectations so far in 2020, but we are recording this after the game against Pittsburgh where we had the entire COVID mess with Baltimore, but the game prior, J.K. Dobbins was actually able to handle the majority of the workload in Baltimore, and I think this has actually been one of the worst case scenarios for the Baltimore Ravens offense, as they have seen multiple offensive line injuries, and Lamar Jackson has not played up to his potential. I think what we see in 2021 is not only Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards both potentially leaving this offense. I know that there's definitely going to be a chance that one of them is back. Regardless, I doubt that both of them are, given the investment of the team into J.K. Dobbins in the 2020 NFL Draft. But we are also going to be expecting this overall offense to bounce back, to not necessarily be as prolific as they were in 2019. But I think that they are going to meet their 2019 and their 2020 seasons somewhere in the middle when they can go out and they can invest significantly into that offensive line. Maybe they get a breakout from a Miles Boykin, a Devin Duvernay that's allowed to really open up this offense as they don't just have Hollywood Brown running those deep routes, trying to clear out underneath. And J.K. Dobbins, we know the profile coming out of Ohio State. I know y'all make fun of me all the time for saying it, but literally an elite athletic profile. He did not get to test at the NFL Combine, but we do have testing numbers from Ohio State whenever I believe he was a sophomore, and he would have been at the very top of the NFL Combine and what he was able to do in the explosion drills as well as the vertical drills. But here with J.K. Dobbins, I think that this is also a running back that's shown the ability to have usage at the goal lines, shown the ability to have usage in the receiving game. He's flashed everything that you wanted to see in so far in 2020. Clearly still attached to that rookie contract. Another extremely safe dynasty investment. Okay, so now let's get to our last running back, someone that I can promise y'all I'll be taking at the very end of the first round of dynasty startup drafts this offseason. This is going to be DeAndre Swift. Okay, so yes, I know there have been some bad reports coming out as of late on DeAndre Swift, as he's quote-unquote not been the same since the concussion. Personally, I don't think we really need to read too much into that on a Dynasty fantasy football sense, as DeAndre Swift so far in 2020 has shown us the ability that he can be like an Alvin Kamara. He can be like that Aaron Jones, which is what we wanted him to be coming into the NFL. That's why we had him as our running back 1 overall going into the NFL draft. Clearly, we're not going to be projecting Adrian Peterson to be there in 2021. DeAndre Swift should be the workhorse running back of the Detroit Lions, also getting the targets out of the backfield. Really, no hesitation for me of nonstop talking about DeAndre Swift and claiming him as a top 10 Dynasty running back. Okay, now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Really helps us out. And yeah, I'll be bringing the wide receiver safe investment video for y'all tomorrow.